Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Aurora's Eatery. This evening, we're going to be talking about everything stew. I know I'm ready. How about we get started, guys? And we get started right now. Let's do it. And welcome back, guys. Let's get started on everything stew, shall we? Excuse me. And my wonderful love is already off and running. He says beef stew over on Twitch. Chicken stew. Heck yeah. Pork stew. Yes. Fish stew. There probably is a fish stew out there. You never know. Or a seafood stew. Jackie says, I'm sitting back. Walking has a list of stews. And one of my favorites, I've got to put it out there, of course, is Brunswick stew. Brunswick stew is so good. It also depends on how it's made, too, because everybody makes Brunswick stew a little bit different. There is a recipe for fish stew from what Jackie says, and I figured as much. I know there's one for hamburger stew. Or as my mom calls one of hers, especially if we have plenty of leftovers and she just doesn't feel like making anything, refrigerator stew. Hey there, Jason Foy. Welcome in, darling. Thank you for joining us. We're doing everything stew today, so please feel free to take and throw your comments in there on favorite stews or stews that you know your family makes, friends make. Ooh, here we go, guys. I'm going to put this on my screen from Walking Corpse. Beef stew, chicken stew, turkey stew, pork stew, wild boar stew, seafood stew, lobster stew, crab stew, rabbit stew, duck stew. I'll give everybody else a chance to catch up. Jackie says mystery stew. I've had some mystery stews before, trust me. Some of them were, definitely not one that I want to ever have again. And yes, all YouTubers, do not forget that tonight is the last night for YouTube videos. All lives will be taken from Twitch. Excuse me. To YouTube as a video. So guys, again, tonight is my last night live streaming on YouTube. Tomorrow starts my full-time live streaming on Twitch. So Jackie and Walking, I know you guys are on YouTube right now. I know you guys can switch over to Twitch. So as of tomorrow, you guys will be logging into Twitch to see me live. Jackie says roast beef stew. Now that sounds so good. Crawfish stew from Jackie again over on YouTube. Lamb stew is actually very good too, guys. But one of my favorites, of course, from my mother has to be her beef stew, especially, you know, in the cold winter months. And you're just like, it's too cold. I don't, you know, want to do anything other than something soupy wise. My mom's beef stew is freaking amazing. Jackie says, Irish beef stew. Ooh, now that sounds really good. And yes, I know my mom's chili is freaking amazing as well, love. Over on Twitch. Jackie says, sausage kale stew. Now that sounds really good. Just a regular veggie stew is also really good. You know, if you don't want any meat in there and you're just feeling veggie, good old-fashioned veggie stew. And my favorite way to do a veggie stew is actually in a beef broth. Or should I say jus, or let's see. Yeah, beef broth, beef jus, however you want to say it. Let's see, I'm trying to think, guys. Okay, here we go again from Walking. Vegetable stew, quail stew, deer stew, bear stew, Alaskan crab stew, pheasant stew, and snake stew. I would not do the snake stew. Can't stand snakes. I am actually deathly scared of snakes. And I have a good reason, but I don't want to get into that conversation. Because I don't feel like having the heebie-jeebies the rest of the night. Thank you. Alligator stew from Jackie. think somebody already said crawfish stew. Let's see. Elk stew is another one that I haven't seen come up through yet. Buffalo. Moose. Wild boar. Trying to think. Okay, starting to go blind here, guys. Sorry, I got to put on the glasses. Scallop shrimp and crab stew. Yes, Jackie. Definitely. Potato stew. Walking says lion stew, shark stew, bread stew. Root vegetable stew from Jackie. Yes, definitely. And poor Walking's phone is going crazy on him, putting things that he didn't say. Green chili stew from Jason Foy over on Twitch. And yes, green chili stew is actually really good. And Walking says, believe it or not, I seen someone years ago cook frog stew. More power to them. Jackie says pizza stew. And Jason says the green chili stew is from New Mexico. And one of the restaurants that I went to here in Maryland at one time, and I don't remember the name of the restaurant, I don't even know if it's still there anymore, actually made a lemon curry crab stew, which was, oh my gosh, delicious. It really wasn't a hot, spicy curry, because that was one of the things that I was really worried about, because curry does tend to have a lot of spice to it. Well, mind you, I was younger, so my dad had gotten it, and I tasted a little bit of his, and oh, I fell in love with it. Jason Foy says, believe it or not, I've had squirrel stew. I don't know if I could do that because they're cute little creatures, and you know what? Like I said, everybody is to each their own. I do not judge here. Walking says bean stew. My love says both venison and rabbit stew. Bear stew. Yes, that was said. Creamy chicken stew from Jackie. And then, of course, my wonderful love has to put crab stew for Christmas. Always throwing that little pun in there. Let's see. Okay. And tomorrow, guys, our stream is going to be everything related to corn. So all things corn. So anything that you can make with corn, cornmeal, whatever, that is tomorrow's stream. So I know Jackie and Walking are already going to be brainstorming on that all day tonight and then all day tomorrow until my stream tomorrow. Any stew you made in a crock pot is one of the easiest stews to make. Yup, pretty much, Walking. Crockpot stew is freaking awesome. Walking says possum stew. More power to you. Spanish bean tomato stew. Ooh, now that sounds really good, Jackie. And you know what? Excuse me, guys. I'm going to smoke on my stream. Ham and bean stew as well, guys, is another good one. Just like ham and bean soup, you just make it into a stew, and it's really good. Amish pot roast beef stew. Yes, Jackie. Like I said, I swear one day me and Jackie are going to open up a restaurant in a bakery. I see it coming, man. Even if it's out of our own house and we're just baking for the freaking neighborhood or cooking for the neighborhood. I could see that happening. Jackie and Walking, I'm going to ask you guys to jump over to Twitch here in just a few minutes. If you guys don't mind. So we're all over on Twitch and we can just raid right over into Real Tax Talk for the evening. Like I said, that's going to be a continual thing. Since his show is right after mine, we're just going to do a quick little raid train right over into him, and then he'll raid out into somebody else. So I'll give you guys a few minutes to jump over to Twitch while I sit here and just talk for a few minutes. Guys, again, thank you so much for taking and being with me through YouTube into Twitch. Guys, you are amazing. You are what makes my stream come to life. Like I keep saying, and I will always say it, if it wasn't for my followers, I would not be Aurora's Eatery. And again, to Jackie and Walking, I can't thank you two enough for constantly sticking with both me and John into, from the beginning. When I was Food Lovers Nation, when John was, oh goodness, I can't remember the name of his last stream, but when we first started, you guys followed us from day one, and you have always been there. So I can't thank you guys enough. Walking says crock pots are great during these hot weathers. Yeah, they are. And I totally agree with you, Walking. And then he comes back with corn stew, carrot stew, potato stew, and tomato stew. Yes to all of the above, Walking. And he says, now I'm in the mood for stew. What kind of stew? Because heck, I might take a road trip and join you. So Jackie and Walking, I'll wait for you guys to jump over to Twitch, and then we will raid over into Real Tax Talk. So guys, again, I want to thank you for an amazing evening. You guys are amazing, especially, coming up with these killer ideas. Everybody, sharing in the chat, sharing their ideas, with everybody else. This is, how we come up with some awesome ideas for different, things that we can use for the idea that I come up with for that day. So again, guys, I hope you guys have an amazing evening. We will be rating Real Tax Talk in just a few minutes. So guys, tomorrow, all things corn. So please join me back here on Twitch only. Twitch only live will be my live stream from now on, starting tomorrow. So guys, as of tomorrow, no more YouTube, but I will be taking and downloading my streams and posting them to YouTube. So you guys can actually go back and take a look at them. So again, guys, have a great evening. Thank you guys for joining Aurora's Eatery. God bless and have an amazing night. Take care, everyone.